Hello and welcome. Today is Monday night, which is not normally a time that I stream, but I have a huge announcement to make. I have a coffee account, KO-FI, and that's where you can subscribe and see some of the things I'm doing. And if it fits your budget, but only if it fits your budget, toss a couple pennies my way to help pay for the hosting and everything. But today, Patrick and I are launching services where you can get your query, your synopsis, or your entire submission package edited by us. We are actually charging money, not just donation fees, but there are discounts available for people. So if it's out of your reach, just talk to us. It's not like the discount code is a secret because I think we put it in the description.
I made you do that, yeah. Because I wouldn't ask for it. And I
Yeah,
know that
no,
part of the thing about having money is you don't
it's
want to have to
awkward.
be like begging stuff. We don't actually have
Exactly.
the career there yet. Let me get
So,
this thing done here. Do you have
sure.
Amber? Did you send her the thing?
If you send me the link, I do. I
On my
think you did, so just give me a minute.
whatever.
So, popping into the
No
comments, I see we have
fiction.
a Sako and a Sarah. So, hello and welcome. Oh my gosh, Sarah has work at
7 a.m.
way
That's
too early in the
illegal.
morning.
It's like, ew.
Yeah, yeah.
My work day starts at 5 p.m. How would you still behaving, please?
Oh, goodness. So,
You gotta take a sheet out. I'm having Google goes, I don't want to share.
dun, dun, dun. I have a cat staring at my hand, so I might need to distract him shortly. Okay, I'm getting kisses, which is okay.
I love that this is turning into a cat stream already. We're less than 5 minutes in and you're already. What is that human? Oh, that's another human. Why is this taking a year and a half? Whatever, it's not always just like this. But Amber had pasted her query into the actual thing. Like it takes you know what?
Yeah.
It might take you less time. Go ahead and make a document. Because this is usually this takes me about 7 seconds, and we're now on to 4 minutes.
Yeah. So let me just. I think you sent me the link earlier. Oh,
it's not a link.
fun.
It's a thing. It's the raw text.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was our tidbits. Okay.
This is absurd. What is?
Oh, okay. There we go.
So she got us her query, which is auto fiction, which I've never worked before, so that's fun.
Oh, fun.
And then the last 2 chapters of her book, which I don't read that far into books.
I'm the reader. You're the editor.
I mean, it's when I go on to page 2, it's because I'm being nice.
Oh, Amber's here. Hello. Glad you made it.
All right, there we go. That's okay. Now it's okay. Here we go. All right, and that, and I know what happened wrong. It was doing stupid stuff. So okay, here is this, and then Amber's here. Okay, cool. Can you, Amber? Can you give her the feed of this so she isn't typing at us instead of just talking? Because it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah.
She can, faster.
Is she on Facebook or Twitter or what?
Facebook.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me make sure I have the right person, and then I'll message her.
She's the most recent thing in the group, so. No.
Okay.
Who is that?
Hey.
I have no notion of that human. Whatever.
I have a lot of people, so.
Yes, you do. I do not. I don't like people, so.
Okay. I like people. That's why I have a live stream.
I like hiding.
So,
that's why
if you could link me the document. Oh, there it is. I see it.
Yeah, that's in that. Yeah, and then I tagged you in the thing because we use multiple platforms, which is not a best practice, but it works for us. Okay. Let's toss this. Okay. All right, so
So what you're going to get to do is see us do our magic live.
Yes. Okay, so usually we'll put this thing up here. This is done backward. So let's go ahead. Let me know when you've gotten the thing up so I can
Sure. Okay.
okay, and then get Amber in here, and then we'll. My nose picked the wrong time to itch.
Of course, always.
So
Isn't that how it
Amber,
works?
can we get her on video? Did you get to her the link yet?
I did send her the link. So
Okay, cool. So Amber, come on
okay.
up here. Let's. Okay. That's the wrong. Whatever. It's fine. Filter word in the second line. That's not very good. Filter, you able to smell? Who was back at night? Whatever. Query first. Yeah, I sent you the There we go. That's Amber. Ish.
Sure. Okay. Uh,
Is that you made yourself smaller? Whatever.
one moment.
Yep. The link in private chat is one of the query.
Yes.
Which we should be getting to first, and then having Amber in here. Not that I'm pushy.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
I mean, you know how when I know the people, when I know when I know the person, I do push. But initially, nope. I've known you 7 years, something like that, 6.
Okay.
All right.
So here is the query we're going to be working with today. Let me go ahead and read it for the audience while we're waiting for Amber to log on. So Laurel Lancaster breezed her way through college with a shiny diploma and a bachelor's degree in English Lit. But other than having a way with words, she's kind of a hot mess. Set in that small stretch of space between the pre-9/11 and post-9/11 world, childhood traumas soon collide, butting heads and heaping up questions even the most stable adult would be hard-pressed to stare down. Laurel tends to date guys with mommy issues, and who among us didn't back in our own version of those days? After royally screwing up with her college boyfriend after a steamy affair with her boss, Laurel grapples with the consequences and negotiates the price she has to pay, a guilty grip squeezing her core. He was a handful, but Laurel knows David Winter didn't deserve that pain. He didn't need more, he held plenty of pain. When Laurel's past catches up to her in an unexpected way, her thoughts and her soul are sent spiraling. A psychiatrist is required, one whom Laurel doesn't trust, and it opens a Pandora's box, which winds up and out into the ethos like a frightened jack-in-the-box raining down in heartache and epiphanies. I also love karaoke, and my therapist, my kid Stella, and my own love story. This one is for them. One moment. Let me reach out to.
Okay. So most agents work in New York and live in or near New York. So I'm going to gently suggest a trigger warning for a horrific event that you mentioned twice in 5 words. Because having lived through that and having thought my mother was going to die a little much suddenly. So it's an easy thing to do, and I did it. So you could also simply not even use it. I don't see how it informs a whole lot in the query.
So I do know that a lot of agents right now are saying that they don't want a near historical setting unless the time frame really matters for the plot. Clearly, you're calling back to just post 9/11, and so if that actually, other than traumatic thing happened and now I'm stressed out and the world is falling apart, other than that sort of high level stuff, if it doesn't impact the characters directly, I might just make it contemporary. I know I grew up in that era, and so for me it would be writing about the era I grew through. But does that setting bring something to the story is the real question. So I don't know if Amber is going to join us on the stream.
Okay.
So just in the
All right,
chat, I
okay,
think.
so, yeah. All right. Well, you
So
have her comments up so I can see them. Otherwise,
it's
I won't.
okay.
This is plot on what's listed there. You can't talk to the reader in the inquiry. That's not happening. This is okay. All right. Mechanically, this is everywhere. Vague. Okay. All right. Okay. Fixing it. Okay. So, shorten this first of all. This isn't wrong. This just could be better. We need. I don't. The only genre I can think of where you don't have the age range, which is my big thing every time, is women's fiction, which this isn't. Book club fiction isn't a genre. It is a classification. Okay, it is how the book is focused. Okay,
Yeah.
you can have crime book club fiction, just like you can have commercial crime fiction. So all you're doing is telling me how it's written, right? So
I've fallen into this trap many times, and Patrick has not strangled me. Because to me, you call it out if it's middle grade or picture book or YA, but otherwise it's default to adult. Apparently, I'm wrong. So I'm right there with you.
Well, so here's the thing. I've done book club fiction. Here's the definition that pops up here. Okay, tells a story of a person at a defining point in their life, often suitable for discussion in book clubs. That can be fantasy, science fiction, dystopian, crime, thriller, suspense, contemporary fantasy, romantasy, new adult, whatever. Okay, it's not a genre. It's an approach. Okay, it's a plot focus. So we need.
I do feel like this story feels like it would be women's fiction.
I can buy that. It just needs to be something because.
Is it a story of discovering yourself with maybe some romance in there, but it's not hitting the romantic plots? Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, okay, there you go then. Okay.
That was not for you, Patrick.
Good.
Sometimes I talk to other people.
I this is very good because I run out of things to say. They're nice. Okay, so this is a very. This is. How do I put this gently?
Oh, Amber is joining us! Yay!
Hooray!
Are you ready?
I am very ready.
Give me a thumbs up. Okay. And then there were 3.
Patrick,
Hello,
I'm so
Amber.
sorry. I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
I'm glad it came up because there's a scene in the book as well, and I would hope it would have occurred to me at some point, but it didn't, and I apologize.
I mean, I don't live in New York, so
neither do I.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm close enough to DC that I definitely had a lot of classmates worried about their parents during the Pentagon portion. But yeah,
that was that thing with that stuff. Anyway, moving on to not that because
yes,
I had to get that out of the way.
Right, comps. Let's talk about something unrelated to these things.
Sure.
No,
yes, this is not a book title.
What is not?
The thing I highlighted is not a book title. What I have written a comp sentence like this, and it was me hiding the fact that I didn't have a book to comp it to.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is that what you did? Is that what you did?
No, actually,
No? Okay.
so I had my comps at the end in my previous query, but I didn't put any in there at
Okay.
all.
I
And
see. Okay.
I'm always terrible at comps, so I thought we could talk through that. But
Okay.
I like to leave that line in there about people coming of age in the late 90s.
I think we can do something with that, but I think it's not quite
You can.
There.
It's.
there.
I don't mind it, but agents, when they get past the, that's not even. You want that there. You want that in the bottom. That's why it was so short. Because you had all your stuff at the bottom. Like, what the hell, lady?
Maybe
Yeah.
even
Alright,
moving,
so-
maybe even moving the comps up to the top and trading that line for down at the bottom.
Traditionally, it is. It is.
Yes. Yeah.
When I reorganized it by area, because this is usually where you start right here. Right?
Yeah. He
And then-
reorganized it while I was reading it, which was confusing for everyone reading along at home and me.
And I don't care.
So, but yeah, usually you put all the stats in the one paragraph and you put all the bio stuff in another paragraph rather than mixing and matching. Just so
It's
they
been
know.
a couple years, Patrick. I've lost my touch that I never had.
Let's just be gentle in saying that I'm not even going to go, because what I do to this will be more than I say here. Okay.
Patrick made me cry last week working on mine. Just because it's easy to work on somebody else's doesn't mean it's easy to write your own.
Yeah, of course not.
I was gentle. However,
no,
that
I'm
was
laughing
so
at you
much.
saying if you get to the second page, you know it's a real accomplishment. I was like, oh, no wonder you told me
I'd
my
be
first
nice.
page
No, I
sucked
am.
last time. We go back a long way.
We do, yes. And Amber doesn't care. Amber
Or no.
doesn't need me to be gentle, which is good because
Okay.
the filter
true.
is a lot for me.
Especially today.
so-
I think that, did the kids have school?
The kids were
No.
off today.
And you were working. That's a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah. That was interesting.
And
I have the
everyone's
TV right
still
next to me.
alive and has all their parts.
Yes, they are, Morgan. Why would you think something else, Morgan?
I'm just saying success.
Yes, that's the word for it. That's the 4-letter word. Okay, so I'm going to leave the log line for now because I don't know what to put there.
Sure.
Okay, I like the verb. Hey, diploma. I don't. So when you have something in, oh god, that's 2 lines. It's so much. Okay. But okay, when you have something in parentheses, it tells the reader it's not that important. So let's do that. And then this. What am I going to say about this, Amber?
I love that line. I think it makes it more relatable.
Yes,
it's the kind of audience I would want to read it.
Gosh, Amber, yes, you would love it. I that's the free square on Amber Bingo, is Amber loving Amber's work. This is good because you need to like your stuff. If you don't like your stuff, it's a really big problem. However, what am I going to say about this, Amber? I'm not necessarily going to change it, but is this specific?
It is a
I can
little
take
vague.
that note.
We have the problem of, is it the character or is it vague? I'm going to leave it for now.
Okay, that's a loaded question, right?
Yes, I know. That's why I'm asking Amber the question about Amber's book.
Could I interject before Amber answers? I think if she readily describes herself that way and identifies as a hot mess, that it might be okay to leave. Otherwise, I would go more specific.
Yeah, I was going to say a similar thing. So last time I tried to query this, I talked about how she'd been recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and that seemed to be very unattractive to agents.
Yeah. So, okay. So let me give you an example.
I might put that in the not comps section where, it represents,
this is
neurodivergence.
book setting. This is not pitch. This is book setting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also, so I didn't know that was a thing to talk about bipolar and neurodivergency in the same place.
Yep.
So now that I do, that makes a lot of difference in the way I approach it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Because people are looking for representation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking for representation.
Most of the people I work with are looking for, they're writing the book that wasn't on the shelf. There is no Gay Driver book. There is
Either you're writing to market or you're writing for yourself.
Yeah,
I write for myself.
I wrote for myself, and it took 20 years to finish this book.
I have other people like that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And for 2 years, I did nothing. And now I'm ready to either publish it through an agent, or I found it actually a really good self-publisher
nice
assistant. So, it'll happen either way. It's just, I'm kind of stubborn. So I kind of want to just get an agent and see what happens.
So Hot Mess is similar conceptually to Disaster Gay.
Disaster
if I read
Gay.
Disaster Gay in a query, I'd be like, okay, yep, that's that, because that's a genre of person.
It's a genre.
So, yeah. So I'm a little, you know how I am. I see the errors and things, not that. Yeah. So I'm a little sort of.
I know you are, and you're fine. You take your time. I can be quiet.
So I'm gonna do this.
Do we have to be quiet, Morgan?
I mean, he can always take off his headphones.
If we get really
chatty.
So a funny thing here. Okay, ready for this? You see this right here? See that right there? That's my headphones right there. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
That's my headphones.
Did you get a better webcam?
The company bought one for me because they didn't like me see me in yellow.
And pixelated?
I don't care.
It's my work camera keeps coming up yellow, and all I do is take a piece of white paper and go like this, and it resets the yellow balance. The fact that I have to do it like half the time is a little ridiculous, but
okay. What is your affinity for this?
Parentheses. It screams I have ADHD because that's we always have asides.
There are more sets of parentheses. Go ahead.
Nice. Are you talking about the mommy issues?
I'm talking about the parentheses.
Oh,
there are 3 sets of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think that this is very on brand for both Amber and Laurel.
Okay.
To say something like that, because we constantly talk about women having daddy issues. So these men in her life have the other side of the coin.
Not my concern.
Oh,
I
thought
of the parentheses is my concern, because you have 3 sets of them, and that is about as many sets I usually see per 30 queries.
Okay, well, we can get rid of at least 2 of them.
I got rid of Oh, actually,
I kind of like to keep the first and the third actually, and get rid of the other than having a way with words, because I can offset that some other way. Like to me, the my next to rubber eraser scars in the first paragraph is being auto.
I can do that. That's fine. Yeah, I can keep that. But the more you have, it more it looks like it's cognitively not cohesive.
Okay,
well, if you want.
With the English lit, change that to a comma, but other than having
no, because look at this. Okay, here's a 1 sentence. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If I turn this into a comma, you have a 2-line first sentence. Less than 10% of successful queries have a 2-line first sentence.
Can you say that? Can you say that sentence one more time?
Less than 10% of successful queries have a 2-line first sentence.
2-line first sentence. Okay,
that's what it is if I take that into a comma, right?
So I think we could combine the concept of shiny diploma and bachelor's degree in English Lit. Maybe a shiny diploma in English Lit or something like that. I think those are 2 thoughts spread across that sentence.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. That shortens that. Okay.
It hasn't updated on my end. Sorry.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Would it be easier, Morgan, if you
Oh, hey, look at that.
There you go. That should be it. Is that better now?
Not for me.
Okay.
I hit refresh.
Okay.
I see the changes.
So.
Okay. So who among us is you talking to us? And that's a bad thing in a query because it destroys that. We're observing.
Okay.
We're living in the world versus we're characters in it. We're not characters in this book.
Okay. So
the only time where you can do that, to me, that I've seen, is nonfiction, which this is not.
So what about the idea of autofiction, where the main character is the author, and the author is the main character? We're stuck in Pandora's box, and we don't know how to get out.
So let me look one thing. I looked up autofiction queries. Didn't. Let me see if
I have
Tracker
not
anything
seen a lot of autofiction
Trace.
queries. I see either memoirs or fictionalized, inspired from true events. I haven't seen that this sweet spot where you are.
I feel like it should become a niche, like it should become something because it's been around. And I don't know if it's kind of seen as like a trope, but when it's really meaningful to somebody that they're the main, like when it is based in true events, it's nice to have that. And the last 2 chapters explain it too. So I probably won't query it as autofiction. Like I won't select the agent for that reason. I'll probably go women's fiction or book club fiction.
So I think Patrick doesn't believe in book club fiction.
Category.
I can't help it that he's a spoil sport.
It's not a genre.
We both
it's
suffer.
It's not a genre. I'm sorry. It's not a genre.
It's a category.
I don't think it should be a genre either. I think it should just be fiction. Be good fiction that you want to read, you know?
How about, how many times have I heard someone say a version of that?
I mean,
when people who say that don't want to have to fit their book in a specific category is basically how that works. Because they have written something that is fundamentally not sellable.
I just have to figure out how to phrase it, phrase it the right way.
So I looked on Reedsy's agent list, 666 or so agents, and nobody lists autofiction. So my suggestion gently would be to look for people who just want stuff. Because if they're looking for... Go ahead.
I was going to say one of the things I did, because I write, my latest story is what I would call space fantasy, but that is not a genre anyone lists. So I looked for people who wanted science fiction and fantasy, and then I tried to see what genres they had in common when the agent looked like they would be a good fit for me, and that's the genre I went with, which is going to be science fiction with strong fantasy elements and strong fantasy and romantic elements.
Well, let me ask you this: what about new adult? So new adult, I've seen, but is it more always set in current time?
New adult is any time period, but romance, it's 90% romance, and sometimes it's happening, sometimes it's not. It's on the edge of becoming a thing, but hasn't actually like YA. It hasn't had its breakout.
Gotcha.
I've seen more publishers and agents pick up new adult over the past year or so than I did in the previous 5 years.
Right. But before that, romance was into it, and then they backed off. So it's fickle. It's a fickle genre.
Most agents will either say no or have you age the person up or down.
Yeah. You can have coming of age stuff that is not YA.
You can be adult.
My character starts out she's just finished college, like we said, and she only grows in time by a few years. Yeah. We go back in time some. Which
see, to me, 42 is legally an adult, but mentally you're still you're not done yet. That's why you can't rent a car yet.
I can't see. I see it being too adult for YA because it's got very, very dark themes.
You can say adult with YA crossover potential because there are people who read. I mean, if you're 17 and you're reading YA, I mean, there's a lot of adult that is okay for you, honestly.
Yeah,
I kind of compare it to 13 Reasons Why because there's a lot of triggers there as well.
Oh, hey, comp! There's a comp.
I do not think it's a comp.
Someone else can write that sentence.
Patrick hates it.
I'm not. It's not a hating thing. It's a staying alive thing.
Yeah. It is such a runaway success. It's too big to.
I deliberately know nothing about that show. Anyway, someone else can write that plot over whatever thing. Nope.
I never saw the show. I only read the book, but it's just similar in themes.
But we can take something you compare it to, and then Google other books like that.
That aren't as problematic. Yeah.
It's problematic.
That gives. Why am I just thinking of this now?
You have 9/11 and 13 Reasons Why.
I'm sorry, they both relate to the story. I did apologize.
I'm just like, no, I'm not mad. I'm just like,
I know. I just feel that.
What deaths can we get here? Like this is.
Well, probably some more. You just read it.
Oh, good.
You read it with your happy pills.
I don't have happy pills.
What about The Lovely Bones? Is that okay to say?
I don't know what that is. I know it's a book, but I haven't read it.
It's where it's like the daughter's murdered and she
yeah,
she is a ghost and she's like kind of like the narrator, I think. It's been a while since I've read it. It's probably less problematic than the other one we talked about.
Okay, that's anything would be less problematic. The concern you have with 13 Reasons Why. There are agents who don't want iconic comps. And
yeah, I've heard that, right? Do you read Morgan, do you read Curtis Sittenfeld?
I don't think so. I read mostly genre fiction.
I figured you might. Yeah, you read what you're interested in writing. So yeah, comps have always been hard for me, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I also said Silver Linings Playbook is another one.
The taxes of the query, honestly.
Silver Linings Playbook was another one I had in mind, and now that was 2 years ago.
Both.
That was 2 years ago, but not now.
Well, number one, you can't do both because those are huge. I mean, you could see both those in the grocery store. You can't do 2 grocery store books, right?
Right.
And for a lot of agents, you can't do any. Which every agent has their own. What the heck? Shakespeare, Jane Eyre?
No. I don't know. Right. I don't think you can help me with the comps, Patrick.
I have tools for that.
Charlotte Bronte
would require that I read a lot of books.
Yeah.
And I read picture books that irritate me because I'm like, I can write better than this. And that's a nice thought to have at bedtime. But do it. Finish a book, query
whatever. I'm going to go with Silver Linings Playbook and Lovely Bones. Probably.
I think those are not too big to use.
Yeah. They both were made into movies.
What drug are you on, Morgan?
Oh, maybe I just have
I've heard of those. They're too big to use.
Oh,
they were both made into movies. Maybe mine should be made into a movie too.
You can't use it.
Oh yeah, no. If it's been made into a movie, that means it's a blockbuster. So using my brand new technique, Google books like it and see what comes up. Yeah.
Well, I got this one called Before We Were Yours.
Lovely Bones was a movie before my daughter was born.
Yeah, that makes it totally usable.
No, that means it has to be within the last 5 years. Otherwise, it's no longer relevant.
Well, then you can scratch Lovely Bones
off. Is 21 years old.
Ooh, you can get away with one older one as long as you have one that is like popping in the last 3 years.
A thing that I haven't heard of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I have to look at even some of those I do look up, or this one, a Hugo in 2017, they're like, nope, can't use that.
Well, what about Reconstructing Amelia? Did you read that?
No, I didn't.
It's got death in it.
Oh, good. How many books did you?
But it hasn't been made a movie?
I don't think so.
I don't
It's only 10 years old.
It's only, That's less bad than The Lovely Bones or, Beatrix Potter or whatever. I mean.
Yeah. Thanks, Patrick.
Okay, that's real love.
Impossible. Comps are so impossible.
It really,
Well, it's hard when you want to find something that's current, but that feels to me very.
My best suggestion for comps is do them last. Because if you find a comp and then you write the book, goodbye comp. I was gonna at one point comp Veronica Mars, and that was 93 years ago. I mean, Truman was in diapers. So truly, all right.
Wait, Truman the president, or do you have a child named Truman?
No, I would not name a child Truman. That would be torture.
I don't
know. No. What I was gonna say before we got into comps, which are just a large pile of fail, for most people who care about comps.
You shouldn't even be required.
Then don't do them.
They show where you fit in the market. Yes. That's what it shows.
However, lots of agents don't care.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Lots of agents don't care about comps.
Yeah.
It's like the personalization. Many agents need to be touched in that special way by, that sounded so wrong, by a personalization. Lots don't.
A few want the personalization. Many others want to know that you looked at their bio for 2 seconds.
Yes, I do remember that.
In some cases, it really is. I'm creating it because you represent adult science fiction. That's it. Because some people don't because they have no idea what they're doing. Because
Yeah.
duh.
It's a problem.
Like if someone says they love, as an agent, they love Indiana basketball, I'm going to change karaoke to Indiana basketball because I like both, but I'm, open.
Yeah, that would be fine. So long as you understand the query is the thing. Like, you're not going to get anywhere because you like Hoosiers. All right. The thing I was going to say back before we dove into this. What's wrong with this?
Wait, royally screwing up? The up on the end? Is that what you have?
After? You don't know this. That's right. Oh, back when we met, I wasn't yet cringing at every single adverb of time that begins or a sentence.
So you don't like the word after at the start?
I don't like the word after to start anything. No.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Okay, we said what you're implying is this thing that comes right here doesn't matter. The after part is what matters, and you want to focus on it.
Yeah.
Also, screw up is such a lovely verb.
It's honest.
And then you have royally, which I can't infuse in there, so you get to keep a modifier.
Whole thing out.
No, it's royally screws up is wonderful.
No, just the first 4 words.
Yes. But it's amazing because she's literally screwing it up. But see what it? I mean, you did it. I'm just appreciating it. You're the one who did it. I'm appreciating. I recognize. Like,
thank you. Game recognizes game.
That one, yeah.
Oh, I love you guys.
Okay, I'm going to be back in 20 seconds.
Oh, good. So the gossip about Morgan is. So we cannot have her royally screw up anything unless she has it. So we need to have her loving boyfriend, blah blah. But she royally screws up that relationship. So placeholder. By having a short, seamy affair with her boss. Okay. This I'm okay with grapples. It's a decent verb, not great, not specific. But,
I appreciate that. It's a high compliment from Patrick.
But Amber,
yes,
consequences should never be in a query. What specifically does somebody do?
Well, maybe I want to keep that a mystery.
Nope.
Fine.
Is she single? Nope. Is she having to find a new place to live?
Is this your attempt at avoiding a spoiler, Amber?
Okay. I'll admit that I have a hard time with that.
Yes, thank you. Yes, a lot of people do. Because they want to entice the agent, but not fully.
Yeah.
This is the worst possible thing.
So read the rest of the sentence, Patrick, and you tell me what you think the consequences are.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is still vague. A guilty.
It's emotional. The consequences are emotional.
Okay, that I don't understand. Okay, so let me just walk you through this. Okay, with the consequences, vague, the price she has to pay, process, a guilty grip squeezing her core. What?
Squeezing her core just sounds like a sexual thing.
That was my first concern was that you were trying to be vague about a pregnancy.
I hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was some core thing that was happening, right? Like literally midsection, right? You can't see my midsection, but imagine it. No. So we need to be specific.
Okay.
Instead of being vague and then process and then vague. Okay?
Yep.
Because you want to amaze the agent with the specific amazements that you have. See, there's a noun for you, Morgan.
I just like the way the words sounded together. Jeez.
Your face and your nouns can all calming thoughts, soothing verbs.
Consequences.
Murder is not a noun. Escape is not a noun. Consequences is going to go away.
Grapples with the
guilt. I was just, Morgan and I are on the same page. She grapples with the guilt.
I read your genre. I understand.
She negotiates the price of admission.
Oh my, no!
The emotional price of admission.
No!
I'm joking.
No! Oh. I'm not amused.
We are not amused.
A guilty grip squeezing her core. Oh, we already used guilty. A guilty Okay, I'll work on it. I get it. We don't have to decide tonight.
As a result, okay?
I won't use it.
Anyone
I'll
who
find
has
something new.
anxiety, how does it manifest, okay? What is being done to her specifically? Does she get panic attacks that cause her to collapse in the street?
Well, these
That a specific thing
so
happens,
the panic attacks.
okay?
Let's start with that. So
Sure.
So she has loving boyfriend, blah blah blah. She screws it up, relationship, steamy affair with boss. She realizes a couple years later that she's still grappling with the issues.
Years later. Okay, that's interesting.
Did she have? Sorry.
Oh, this all comes down to there being a prologue, and that's what he's just
saying.
You didn't remember.
This is a good test case because I haven't yet exploded.
No, this is not
no
a test
age range.
We've
had no genre. We've had
need a control subject.
A prologue. We've had 4 sets of parentheses, and I'm still alive.
Oh, you really like me. You really like me.
Just remember, what you write is the antithesis of Patrick's journalism style, and not all writing is for all readers.
Right.
Most writing is not for this reader, and that's fine. Because again,
because you genuinely do like me, and I appreciate you taking the time to have me do this tonight.
You are fun. You are the right kind of weird. I'm a reminder who didn't know this, that I am highly particular, and not always in a good way. For example, you heard of the Mona Lisa? One of the most beloved, iconic, researched, everything venerated paintings in the world. Guess who saw it and thought it was boring?
Well, it's like this big. And
that's not the issue. That's not the issue.
What's wrong?
The issue is it's boring.
Nothing's happening.
Behind a bunch of people taking photographs of not the painting, but each other's cameras because they were all in front of it, right?
How late do you guys normally go?
Midnight.
Okay.
Because I have work tomorrow.
Can I take a short break to run to the restroom, and then I'll be right back? Because I really don't want to stop early on this.
Go.
All right.
I love this years later thing. There we go. That's what? The only reason I know what that means is I've seen the previous queries. That's just too vague.
She said the same thing 3 times, so I think we can trim it.
I don't do anything with that right here, like vocally or anything. So I'm just really happy to say.
Can I delete the parentheses exclamation mark before love karaoke?
Go ahead, but I mean, she's gonna, I don't still see what it does for anybody.
I once read a book in which the main character's mother writes him letters and capitalizes every word. And when she gets very excited or upset, every letter is cap locks and there's multiple exclamation marks. And she uses purple ink, and they describe like how many tears are on the page so you can see how excited she gets. And so I think about the excitement and the language coming through where people write. It was described in the story.
I survived that one too. This is, again, a book that is not for me. Okay.
It was summarized, and we didn't have to suffer through the whole letter.
Yeah, thank you. Ish. Are you kidding me?
I know. Take a deep breath.
That's dude. This is actually okay. I think this is
Breathe
trying.
through the pain.
This is trying to be the stakes, but it just isn't. It like this
It's
language here is.
it's metaphors and no specificities. Amber loves a good metaphor.
The language is pretty, but it's not.
Specific.
We need to have more of
Descriptive.
an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
It's descriptive of absolutely nothing. It's stuff is happening. It's dangerous. Whatever. That's great. But what is like specifically happening?
Yeah.
But we're gonna wait. Okay, I know how to fix that. I know how to fix that. Okay, yeah, we're fine. It's just gonna have to rebuild this entire damn thing because.
What?
Yeah. We were discussing it. She took away your emotional support exclamation point.
I did. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, good. So I left the rest of the thing, and I figured out how to fix it. Okay, so first we need this because we can't have, no reaction until years later. That's just not how people work, and also it's boring,
Yeah.
right? I had the
Yeah.
fair, and I have no reaction to it. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Oh,
can
shit.
get I can get there with the immediate.
Excellent.
Do you guys want to know what the immediate reaction is?
Type it.
Does she lose a job? Does she lose a house?
Character-centric language is subject, verb, object.
Where do I type it? I don't see my
Well,
chat.
how about the place where I did this thing here, right?
Oh,
See that?
Yeah.
You have
Here?
access to the thing, right?
I don't know.
Are you in this document? Are you not? I can hold.
Hit Control F5 and see if it'll refresh for you.
I don't think she's even in the document, dude.
That's okay. I don't have to be in the document.
Okay.
It would help.
Okay, and this is going to be another trigger warning. Get ready.
I'm warned.
Okay.
What's the warning?
After the affair and the breakup, she's afraid he will die by suicide.
Yeah. With your comps, I assumed that was in there.
Yeah, well, I remember the previous version of this, but okay, yeah. All right, I can.
It was already written. No,
I already seen it, so it's
the
not
manuscript's
new.
all done.
Let me. I sent this before you were in here, so let me see. Here, that's the document we're using right there. Okay, so go to the private chat tab in StreamYard, okay, and open the document, and then put in the stuff. Okay. That's my line.
I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing.
So are you in the StreamYard tab? Go ahead.
Okay. In the StreamYard window, on the right side, there should be 4 tabs. One that says comment. Oh, well, you don't see all of them, but there should be a tab that says private chat.
I remember seeing that earlier, but I don't see it now.
Hold on.
There's icons, but there's not words.
Hold on.
Okay.
Maybe
it looks like a chat window.
Hold on. I think I'm in full screen, and that's why.
That's Facebook for you. I put it there too.
Crisis averted. Okay, I'm in the chat.
Excellent.
Okay, good. All right.
What am I typing again?
The thing with the warnings. I'll put the
What am I starting off with? Like what word?
She blah blah blahs or he whatever. Okay.
Okay.
She knows her ex was depressed, and this might push him over the edge.
Something.
I don't know.
That's not terrible. That's concept. It's functional.
Am I doing the whole thing? Am I replacing royally screwing up?
No.
I did that.
We're looking right after short, steamy affair with the boss. What's the immediate repercussions before we jump forward? Yeah.
And you will probably want to mention his name up there when you introduce him.
Yeah.
Okay,
because having it after is a little confusing, I think, and you want to avoid being confusing in the query.
Yeah.
The book is supposed to be mysterious.
Patrick
it's hard for me right now because I'm trying to think of a verb.
What is the person doing? I'm good at this. I'm ready for my moment. What's the person doing, Amber?
He's getting on a motorcycle.
Mounting?
No mountains. Oh, mounted.
Mounting.
And he mounted.
I thought it wasn't a sex scene.
Yeah, I know. I can't say core.
I just thinking about it throbbing whatever. So gets on would be, but
Can I say this?
I can see you. So
He doesn't die in the scene, by the way. This doesn't cause his death.
okay. You're still not in the document.
How do I get out?
I linked you in Facebook, and it's also in StreamYard. Oh, you're in chat. That's why. Okay. Yeah. So go. You see the top link here in private chat?
Yes.
Click on that.
Clicking on where it says private chat.
No. Click on the link.
Oh,
Top
gotcha.
private. Yeah, that's for there. Yeah.
This is
you
my
were
first
typing-
rodeo.
That's yes, and there's so many metaphors I'm not going to use there.
Okay, while you're typing, I just wanted to give a shout out to Jen Storyteller, or JN3 Storyteller. Sorry, I'm dyslexic moment. JN3 wants to tell us that David Winter was a cyborg in their World of Darkness campaign. So great name.
Awesome.
Okay, that needs to be.
He seemed like a cyborg to the character sometimes too.
Okay. That's not good. She left. And
am I just watching right now, Morgan?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's very difficult. It's hard to keep up.
Placeholder at least.
It helps with 2 windows.
I have I have my editing window and my regular window. That's the only way, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to see much. Like faces and such. Okay, so that's placeholder at least. This is gonna take a long time. Okay. So she left isn't really, that's emotionally flat to me.
Okay.
So I need more of her caring about whatever.
To me, sad eyes just kind of gives me a description of what happens.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily tell me what's going on inside. Like, why is she afraid that he's, going to let his demons win,
Mm-hmm.
So has he been fighting with depression? Is that something we want to talk about? I don't know.
Yes, he has. And I think he's, like been through a similar breakup type situation before.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe it would be like darkened or like numb. Like, those are the types of words I think.
Numb would be a good one for that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I can work with that. I can work with that sentence like offline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna take a
Yeah,
like forever.
Okay.
Did she leave or did she dump him and then he walked away? Like,
she dumped him in a bookstore where he worked. So she left, actually. I didn't even think about that. I was just trying to come up with a good sentence.
Ouch! He couldn't leave. He was still on the clock.
Yeah,
and
he didn't mount anything.
He
didn't leave. Yeah. He didn't leave. She left.
She walked into his place of work, caught him on the clock, dumped him, and peace out.
Yeah, which doesn't say a lot for her. She's the main character, but she's not always going to make the right decision.
Yeah. Well, they usually don't.
Especially at the beginning, and then they grow and learn.
Exactly.
Or
they have a starting point.
Caught in a pile of bad garbage, and the psychiatrist comes along, which is the plot here,
and points them in the right direction.
I'm seeing a log line shaping up, and it's not nice.
The trigger warning is going to be a full page.
The trigger warning is going to be the book.
Don't read this. Don't read this.
I feel like the warning Prince left in that one album. Don't buy this. I have to do this for contractual reasons. All right, we can shorten this, by the way.
It might work on a blurb, but a query is not the right space for that.
Yeah, the blurb I found much easier than the query.
Okay, so yes. So this is.
I hear ya. It needs work. I know.
This is how. This is what happens in queries: is that people run out of energy for specific information.
Yeah,
because being vague is a lot easier than being specific.
Yeah.
So what sends her into crisis? Is it one thing? Does she just like have a meltdown and have to go get help?
So it's the one big thing that she was scared about the most when she dumped him. He died.
Okay. So yeah.
And again, that's kind of hiding a spoiler, but also not wanting to say, you know.
You cannot
think we might
you
have to just
cannot
say
hide.
it.
You have to.
Wait.
You really do have to be specific.
How far through the book does this happen?
She finds out in the beginning in the prologue,
Okay.
and then it happens in the book.
Okay. Because the query is supposed to focus on the first third, maybe up to the first half if Patrick
Yeah, it's within that time frame.
Okay.
Some first thirds don't end well, and there's no reason to, and some structures just don't work for that, right?
Right.
That's why we have that space to do stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not trying to go up to 2/3 here.
Sure. Okay. While you think on that, I'm going to bounce into the chat. JN3 Storyteller says that they have a philosophical issue with the notion of your blog name, Too Many Books. I would like to say sometimes it's a structural issue. If the book pile gets too high, that can be unsafe.
The Collier
That's
Brothers.
funny.
I'm not making this up. The Collier Brothers. That's how they died. They made mazes out of the Collier Brothers a long time ago. This is about 100 years ago. They hoarded newspapers and such, and they were worried about. They were paranoid and would have hoarders are commonly paranoid, and so they made paths in their house. They made tunnels out of these newspapers, and they built them with traps so that people would walk in and try to take stuff and get trapped and not be able to get out. Well, as you know, Morgan, if you make a back door, everyone can use it, including you and anyone else. So they were victimized by their traps.
My grandfather actually used to hoard newspapers and magazines, and every couple of years his wife would call the fire department to get them cleared out since he wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a row house in Philly, and they were not an end unit. That was definitely a fire hazard.
Can I explain about the title of the blog?
Do it. Bring it.
So it used to be called The Musings of Amber Murphy, but I got divorced, and then I didn't want to have my real name out there after I got remarried.
Sure.
So Too Many Books was going to be books I haven't read yet, and I did that for a month.
Sure.
And then Too Many Books now is sometimes when I get mad at people, I talk about them and throw the book at them.
Oh, I love it.
Actually, tomorrow's post will be me throwing the book at somebody.
I was a multi-sport athlete in college, in high school, not college. In college, I watched. So if you throw things at me, I will catch them.
Excellent. So Beauty Incognito swung by. They are lurking and enjoying the magic. Hello, Belinda.
God, I wish I would have washed my hair.
And then
I didn't know we were going to have an audience.
It's pulled back. We've got what? It's not a large audience, but it's a quality audience.
Yeah, I can tell. David Winter's a cyborg, and they mentioned my blog by name. It's exciting.
Yes, you might get 3 whole hits after this. Okay, how does she react to him? The news about him? He said because I highlighted it.
She freaks out. Oh, okay. She
hyperventilates.
No, so at the time she's already freaked out and she's newly medicated, so she really doesn't know what to do. So she does a lot of things.
Has a manic episode.
Like everything, but what do you need to know?
Okay. Hold on, Patrick. You're fine. She can barely hold it together because she thinks it's her fault. She has reasons to think that it was her fault.
Vague.
Does she binge drink? Does she get alcohol? Does she get?
This would be a short story if you drank.
Remember the boring part, Patrick? She languishes.
She can't get out of bed for days.
That's doing something. My short story is like that. There's a page of him just doing nothing.
I had to label the days
so I could keep them straight.
Pulling
Because
a
sundown
Kafka.
doesn't tell me anything.
She flashes back in time. Patrick, are you about to lose your shit? To when they
Did you
first started dating.
coordinate a list to irritate me? Because
So
it's
that
working.
means she reminisces
Yes.
and like thinks about all her regrets while laying in bed.
Line.
Yes, because when the prologue ends,
Mhm.
the chapter 1 is him working at the movie theater,
Mhm.
which is not, my fault.
But not the bookstore.
But not the bookstore. She works at the movie theater. He works there with her at that time.
Gotcha.
He worked at the bookstore later.
Okay.
But you just found out about it in the prologue.
If I had a fourth bumper sticker, it would apply to practically nobody, and it would be 3 words. Would you like to guess them?
What?
The first one is a verb. Delete.
No. Oh,
Delete. Verb. Delete your. Anybody?
Prologue.
There you go. You win.
I was just ignoring you.
I'm sorry. You could put a line there and just flip it for like adverb, prepositional phrase, prologue, and just like cycle
I could
through.
have massive text. Delete your prologue. Modifier. Prepositional phrase.
Although apparently it doesn't count if you like merge your first chapter with your prologue.
I just started calling it chapter 1. I just started calling it chapter 1.
I can tell though. We can tell.
You could tell that about me.
You can no, I can tell when it happens.
I've heard prologues are much more kindly looked at if it's another chapter of the story, even if it's a different time, rather than a once upon a time backstory.
Yeah.
And now we come to our people fighting at war.
The prologue to the Da Vinci Code reads like chapter 0, essentially. I read the first couple chapters because I was curious. I saw the prologue, but it's
so in my last chapter, there's a callback to my prologue, and that is a spoiler I'm keeping. So don't try to.
Except in your synopsis.
Yes.
No spoilers in synopses.
Yes. Fair enough. I'm not letting you guys read that because you're gonna have to read the book. Patrick's gonna have to read the book.
That will happen.
Look at his face.
Ever in life. At a specific
you guys
time.
have the last 2 pages. You guys have the last 2 pages, so who knows?
Okay.
You make it
so
fair.
Back to this thing here.
Dun, dun, dun.
We need the medication language. We have some slots for things here, right? So next chunk of this that we need to be specific about because we cannot.
Remorse. Is remorse good?
Have we met? Amber, you're asking me if a noun is good?
You can be remorseful. Oh, that's also not a verb.
She remorses.
What do you call it when somebody
regret?
What do you call it when somebody doesn't go to the funeral because they're afraid they won't be wanted?
Regret.
Regret.
She regrets not doing something.
Regret.
She stays inside. She doesn't go to the funeral. She's too scared. She
hides.
COVIDs herself.
Stays safe from the.
She's not agoraphobic. She's a newly medicated early 20-something whose boyfriend just died by suicide, and she can't drive anywhere because she's on new medicine.
Whose ex-boyfriend from like 4 years ago.
Well, it still is hitting her hard though, and she has a new man. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, she talks to her friend who lives in London.
Nope. New plot element. Nope.
Okay.
I think that focusing this on her makes it better because it's showing how unable to deal with anything she is. He said politely. Because when you have a query with essentially one character, which this is.
I'm sorry. Is she languishing, thinking of how she could have saved him, or thinking of how she fucked him up beyond repair?
How she could have been a part of the reason, and how she could have.
It was concept. How she could have verbed him.
Yeah.
How he could have left her a note in a very metaphorical way, a metaphoric way, that he showed her in his death that she was partially to blame.
Okay. Okay.
Put that in there then.
Okay.
All right, then we need to get this specifically.
She languishes in bed, certain that she triggered his downward spiral.
Yeah.
Triggered, I like as a verb, but spiral cannot be a noun. There, it just you're killing the sense of it. You're weakening his.
Okay.
But
She languished in bed, remorseful.
ah!
Languishing
Regretful.
really
Full of regret.
Languishing implies sadness and morose
Yeah,
and
I
all
like
of
that
those
word.
emotions. So
Yeah.
I don't think we need to say it twice.
No, I didn't think about that. That we
Yeah,
already used it.
Yeah. She languishes in bed, knowing she triggered his.
How about she languishes in bed, reminiscing about a time when this wasn't happening? No, you don't like reminiscing?
Reminiscing is happy.
Okay. True. That's true. She languishes in bed.
Knowing her actions triggered his demise. No?
She languishes in bed.
We have a character dying, and you know it?
She languishes in bed.
His despair? I don't know.
Yeah. She languishes in bed, understanding his despair.
No.
Understanding his despair, because now she's feeling terrible too.
Hold on.
I'm gonna get out the manuscript and just read from it.
There is at least one agent who specifically says they don't want lines from the query and the synopsis in the book.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's easier too when you've got some distance from it. That's why I can't come up with anything, because I haven't read it in a year.
Yeah.
Try that.
You think languishes is too cheesy of a word?
No, lean into it.
Okay. It feels very like Meg Ryan in You've Got Mail to me when she's sick in bed.
That's not languishing. That's just.
Is it accurate though?
No, because that's not as happy as languish. What
part of languish is happy, or is she happy? I didn't think she was.
No, she's not.
No, languishing is like losing vitality, being feeble, or suffering from suffer from forced to remain in an unpleasant place or situation.
That's what this is.
And Laurel's stuck because
Look what I did here.
Yeah.
Look what I did here. See this?
Okay.
See how much better this is?
Where do you start? She languishes?
Yeah.
She languishes in bed, tormented by the fact that she helped him drive. You don't say to kill himself. You say he died by suicide. That's a thing now.
Okay, hold on.
Tormented by the fact that she helped drive him. Tormented by the fact, take out he helped drive him thing. Take all that, kill himself out of there. Who's running the show now?
Another definition of language is extreme pain or distress, including mental.
She languishes in the bed, tormented by the fact that he showed her in death that she was partially to blame. And showed
process language. He showed him. We don't even need.
Okay. She languishes in bed, tormented by the fact that in his death she was partially to blame. It sounds like too much like a poem. Don't you guys like sad things sometimes?
I can process almost anything. There's some specific things. I handled obituaries for 4.5 years, so you have to deal.
Yeah. I work in in-home care, so I see senior citizens die all the time. It's at least they're older, but it still sucks.
Yeah. The babies with the tubes in their nose are the hard ones.
Oh God, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Set him on this path.
God,
sorry,
no, paths go
sorry. The grave is a place.
Oh, she could feel grave about something.
Nope. That's not a verb. That's a modifier.
You could take out the Laurel doesn't trust her because the her shouldn't go there for sure.
Toss it. Go ahead. Okay, now
Coming back.
this pile of what the hell is happening specifically. How are there 4 people in here?
Am I supposed to be writing now?
No, I think we're
What
thinking.
Okay.
Specifically, who requires the psychiatrist?
Laurel, main character.
Laurel does a thing, blah, 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 verby with the psychiatrist. Give her the agency, right?
Oh, yep,
Right.
yep. That
this
is
right here is
passive. That is
emotionally-
actually passive.
Wait,
Because
say
what
No,
is
it's not.
required
No,
is a
it's not.
psychiatrist.
No,
What?
it's not. It's not. That's not a past participle. That's an adjective.
Hey guys,
Right.
actually, we need to change that whole sentence because Laurel actually
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Laurel goes to the psychiatrist before he dies. So
Yeah.
she's already got our meds by the time he dies. So just
Yeah.
take out the whole a psychiatrist is required.
Fix it to what it needs to be.
What about
conceptually.
Laurel doesn't trust her psychiatrist, but she needs help?
Let's just get rid of the whole idea of a psychiatrist being in this query and just start it with David's death opens a Pandora's box. How about that?
That's the centering, but okay. It's still vague though, is a thing.
What's a Pandora's box? What
What
is this box?
specifically happens?
So
Who does what?
Laurel can never know for sure if it was her fault he died. Or
Right.
it's a suicide note that she sees as like it's like a metaphor, but it's a suicide note. She's on new
Is it
medicine.
an actual? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
It's not a real handwritten letter. It's an action or it's something to do with his death that causes Laurel to think it was her fault.
Okay.
So she can never know if she's to blame, and he can never tell her. either
Right.
way. So that's
Okay,
what I
okay.
mean by Pandora's box.
Sure.
And so what happens?
Well, this whole sentence is a metaphor about what's happening. It's all winding up deep inside her, and it's like a frightened Jack in the Box.
So what's her choice
What's
that
she
she has to make?
doing?
So she's in a new relationship at the time that David dies.
Oh,
Living with someone. So she has to get her crap together because she's had this steamy affair with her boss, and then that boyfriend died. So she needs to be better to the next one to grow. How about that? It's like being in therapy, and you have to bring it out of me.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
this is. It's
yeah.
half therapy.
Yeah,
and half
It
editing.
really is.
Free
It's
session.
Legitimately, we spent half the time with the person talking about the book. My session with Mara was 3/4 therapy.
You guys should have, Patrick. You should have waited to have me until you started charging. I can get your Venmo. I can get your Venmo.
You talk to Morgan about that. Moving on to the query part of the query.
So
Okay, or
if you're interested, I mean, you can pay even though we've already done it. You can grab the discount if you need it. Yeah. So
okay.
I might
There.
consider it. We'll see how nice Patrick is to me for the rest of this call.
Oh no, that's not happening.
I'm joking, Patrick. You know how much I support you. You were really just starting all this up when we started talking for the first time, what, 2-3 years ago?
aw.
So sort of ish. I had been doing queries for a long time. The group was new because
The group was
funny
yeah.
story. This thing that I do where I work the thing in a document, I was told flat out to not do that again by a different group's admin, and I'm like, everybody loves this. People come to me for this thing that I do.
Yeah.
You're gonna stop?
100%.
I'm out. I'm in the group that day.
Your personality may not be everyone's taste, but I love you.
No, that's fine.
I
No.
only tried to kill Patrick with my brain 3 times in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
3?
It's an old
3.
It feels like whatever. It feels like 300, the documentary about language. Anyway, that is all right. So, Laurel, Amber,
Yes.
is this new conceptual stake sentence accurate?
Which
We
sentence
have
are
to
you?
bridge the thing. Like
Look at what he's highlighting.
Okay. Now she's got a new boyfriend. Now she must decide whether to improve as a person so she doesn't hurt this one for too long or whatever.
one too.
Risk, blah, 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 drugs, whatever. Again. Yes, that's perfect.
Yes, I nailed it. All right. I think I have the log line now. Do you want to
That's
try
how the
that? Or do you
sausage is made. That's how the sausage is made.
Luckily, I'm not vegan.
Right? And then that would be another trigger warning for the top.
Well, there is vegan sausage.
Oh, that's not even.
I put air
He
quotes.
said
We're good.
No, I have. It's.
Patrick,
have-
we still have 2 pages to go. I'm joking. I'm kidding.
You might have 2 pages to go.
I mean, I sent him the last 2 pages of the
Yeah.
book. I was just
Yeah.
kidding.
I
Thinking of
looked
you.
at that and yeah.
Oh, that's the reaction I wanted.
It could be
I'm
worse.
sure had he read the entire book, it would have had a lot more
So,
emotional impact.
Packed
The thing
more
is,
of a
the last
punch.
2 lines really, the last 2 pages don't matter a ton, because unless they are full of alfalfa sprout recipes for no reason, the
Oh,
agent getting that far into the book, you're probably going to be okay-ish.
I
Maybe
said
R&R
page. I
something.
said pages. I think I sent you the last 2 chapters. Is what I put.
You might get an R&R. Again,
Just
if you
throw
have
it away.
32,000 words and the final 3,000 are trash R&R, because
I
if the
love
first
my
69
last 2
grand
chapters.
are good, then you just have to fix some stuff at the end, and then you're good, right?
Right.
Right.
As opposed to fixing the first page. Which
Yep.
is why I look at the first page.
Well, do you guys want to go ahead and know the spoiler of the end of the book?
I don't care.
Okay.
If we don't need it, we don't need it.
I
I'm going to
don't
pop into the comments for just a second. Hi, Eva. Thanks for swinging by. Yes, that was indeed a very interesting image. Jack in the box sausage. And vegan sausage does indeed sound like a train wreck. On the other hand, I don't know why I was listening to vegan sausage. We were talking about that's how you make the sausage, and then yeah.
I have a friend who is vegan. I have many who are. It's part of being a socialist, and her thing is she makes vegan whatevers. Have fun. I hope you are healthy. Whatever. She made vegan hot dogs, which she said were carrots that she soaked in Worcestershire sauce. I think.
Okay.
I can see that being entertaining, I guess, but
it's been a while since she's had a real hot dog.
I don't. Carrots are healthy. Carrots soaked in salt are probably still healthier than hot dogs. I'm just not sure the experience of eating a hot dog is equivalent to the experience of eating a carrot soaked in anything.
I will tell you, I will take vegan freezer pizza over cauliflower crust pizza any day.
Okay.
That's where I draw the line. If you bring cauliflower crust pizza in my house, you eat it and you take it home.
It's trying to turn food into other food that I don't know. This is not a video game where you're turning chickpea spaghetti.
I'll let cauliflower replace rice, but not bread.
Yeah, rice is fine because it's going to crunch anyway.
Yeah.
But chickpea spaghetti tastes like something broke. You're eating it and it goes into grainy garbage instantly. And it's like, this is not. No.
Never, ever make a cold rice pasta because rice gets grainy when it's cold. You want the blends.
Yeah.
You want the blends. Sorry, my roommate is celiac, so I do a lot of gluten-free.
I like it experimental. It's interesting.
I eat a lot of ribs.
All right, so Amber, go through all the green stuff and accept or reject it. If you reject my age range genre thing, I will be unhappy, and I will put it back in.
Say the first thing again.
Go through and accept or reject all the changes. If you delete this, I will be unhappy. I'll put it back in. I'm going to copy it in case.
Oh, the age range
and genre.
Yeah.
Because
Beauty Belinda asks, blames herself. Does she know she was at fault? We don't know. That's one of the big things she's struggling with.
The title is Rubber Eraser Scars. Hopefully it'll actually be a real book soon. And by soon, I mean like 2-3 years.
That would be 3 years is about the fast you can go, yeah.
And the truth is, like we said, she really can't know. She has to come to terms with that.
Because people don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the whole issue of that, he said.
Being left behind. Yeah.
Around the time I had the hardest mental challenges, one of my cousin I'd never met on the other side of the family didn't survive. So that's why I'm big about some of that stuff.
Am I just clicking mindlessly on everything?
No, you're not. You have to use your brain.
Okay.
Because some of them might be wrong.
Might.
I can't even tell where they go.
If you click on it, it will jump the cursor to that spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've dealt with a lot of.
She's dealt with 2, 3. She's dealt with down 3 pages.
I used to use track changes more often, but it's like the change is like cutting up at the beginning of the header.
So what I would do, Amber, is I would click on 72,000, okay, and accept that, and then just go from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the beginning of it, and that way you'll have, because right now you have changes going down onto where our fourth page would be if we had one.
I'm just gonna
because there was a lot
on things. Yeah. It's not like I don't have the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll accept that one. Good. There we go.
That's making me feel less stressed out.
Yeah.
See? And it's easier to read now too, right? Because you understand more what you have.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell yourself, don't read this word. It's pretend, right?
Right. Or pretentious.
That would be a modifier, so no.
I know.
No, noun.
Me.
No, modifier.
I'd say adjective.
Modifier, yeah.
Adjectives are modifiers, as are adverbs and prepositional phrases.
Pronouns.
Oh, you like that? I would be a great team at the top, out the gate.
It's personalization.
But at the top of the query, I would put that at the end.
It's a personalization.
No,
I would put personalization.
I usually put this. Go ahead.
It is the equivalent of I am querying you because, which is a personalization, and you put that at the top because why put it at the bottom? By the way, this thing, no.
They'll have stopped reading by then.
I would
Imagine, Morgan, that I'm introducing you to my friend Amy. Here's Amy. I think you might like her because personalization. Yeah.
Right before.
Oh, by the way, you both collect rubber ducks that you put in your prologues.
I would put it at the end. I think you want the book first, and then right before that, you close them out. You're like, oh, by the way, BT Dubs, we both love this thing.
Can we meet in the middle? Can we meet in the middle?
No, it can't go in the middle. That's the pitch.
No.
What I do is I usually put it at the end of the stats paragraph at the beginning.
Okay. I like that.
The second sentence.
I'll accept that. I'll accept changes.
Do you want to do that? Go ahead.
I'm probably going to put it right there where Morgan.
It's not going to be the reason you get rejected.
Okay.
Unless the agent is just that particular.
But yeah, I definitely work it in the first paragraph in that bio paragraph.
You mean right after I talk about 9/11? I'm going to put it at the end.
No, that's where your bio is. It has nothing to do with your bio. It has to do with the story.
Personalization goes at the beginning.
Are you saying to put it at the beginning of the first paragraph?
I'm saying it'd be your first paragraph or begin it. Yeah.
Okay. And Morgan, what do you think?
I usually put it somewhere in that first paragraph.
Okay. When the personalization has been in the query or has been represented, if the person, if they send 40 queries and they personalize half of them, they're not going to put every single one, right? Yeah. But they have personalization here in brackets, right? That's what that is.
I'll just lean on this. I'll let the Holy Spirit guide me.
I think what I've actually done is either done it right after.
What did I do to you, Amber?
What?
What did I do to you, Amber?
I don't know. I've been cranky all day. It's not your fault.
Yeah. Have you eaten recently?
I didn't eat that much dinner. I have a mood disorder, so sometimes I'm moody.
Get a snack.
Do you remember that, Patrick? Do you remember that I have a mood disorder?
Yes.
I'm a little moody sometimes.
Yes. I've experienced you sober and you not sober, and that was interesting.
It's not an alcohol thing.
No, it's not. It's an Amber thing.
So I was going to say where I usually end up putting it is right after the book is a whatever work of genre, and then maybe the log line, and then this is why I'm querying you. Like that's where I feel like it flows the most naturally.
Okay, I like that, Morgan.
But apparently I'm making Patrick cry.
Everything makes me cry that you say
and he's telling me I'm wrong as usual.
So, Morgan, look at half a dozen at some point. Half a dozen interviews on Query Tracker.
Sure.
Look where they put the personalization.
Mm-hmm.
What do they say?
What percentage have personalization again? I forget.
I always did. I always had personalization.
See, if the agent doesn't care, then you just don't do it because that way you can't fuck it up.
Right.
I only put it in if they specifically requested, or we actually have something other than you represent what I'm looking for, because that feels like I'm pandering, and
Right.
pandering rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, I love is the MSWL still around?
Manuscript wish list, yes.
Yeah, I love that because you can get like really specific into what people
You
like.
can. The
some
one,
of them.
yes. My one caution on that is chicken, ranch dressing, cheese, spinach. Is that a pizza, a salad, or a sandwich?
Could also be Italian, maybe. Wait,
Italian's a genre, but are you talking like not a dish?
You don't know what specific way they want those things to be used.
Yeah.
And the good ones, the emotionally mature ones, will admit they don't know either.
Well, and I think it's kind of whatever strikes your fancy, right? Because sometimes
they don't know.
Easy
they
to
don't
have
know. And that's fine. It's fine to not know, okay? It's fine to be like, no, not this way, not this way either, not this way, right?
Yes.
But admit that. And again, the ones who are emotionally mature will admit that. Another thing that happens is they will have the full and they'll be considering it, and because it takes half a year to decide, right, or to have time to, right, you can query them with something they actually really want, but they already had that first one.
Yeah.
So they accept that and they reject you. And it's not the book, it's not you, it's the timing.
I love getting rejections. I mean, it's so much better than not getting anything.
Finding a closure. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one caveat to closure, which is the rejection. If they say no answer means no thank you after 8 weeks, and then 32 weeks later they send that no thank you, it feels like salt in the wound.
Yeah, it's like
I respect them closing the loop, but it's still salt on a wound because I have emotionally recovered and forgotten.
I didn't remember
I haven't queried this book in a year. So I really don't have to worry about, did I query them? Like, is it too soon? I really don't have to worry about that. And I love it. And I'm going to be very harsh on the people who, I'm not happy with. I'm not going to even send them a query. I'm not going to send that many.
I don't even query people.
No, I'm not harsh at all. I hate confrontation.
But when I get back to querying, if I do, I'm not querying people who don't respond. Yeah, I spent a year writing this book. If you don't have 10 seconds to hit no thanks, that's kind of nope.
Even a form rejection is better than nothing.
You could just click and that's it. It's not hard.
I love the platform for Query Tracker, like where you can just enter it in and you don't have to write an actual letter. You just paste everything.
Yeah, that's the point of the form rejection. It's faster, and I don't want you to have to type out a form rejection. That's
I would dream. I am dreaming of a secondary type of form rejection on full request R&Rs. I am still salty. I am salty about the R&R. I got a form rejection explaining how beta readers worked that clearly they used on cold queries, while my article on 10 questions to ask your beta readers was like the top 3 results.
Okay.
I just wanted a different form rejection.
Oh, let me tell you this real quick, Morgan.
Have
you ever heard of the author Augustin Burroughs?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so he wrote this book called Dry. It was about like recovering from being an alcoholic or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, he's a fancy known name. I got his husband to DM with me, and then I queried him, and like probably 4.5 months later, he sent back the most lovely rejection. It was long and thought out, and that was the one where he said, maybe don't lead with bipolar disorder. So I was like, oh, fair enough. I'm going to see if I can query him again and sneak through, and then he'll accept me and be like, oh my God, it's that same girl.
I find it easier. It feels better to re-query if A, you've totally revised, and B, you've changed the title.
Yeah, the title might be kind of, I mean, I would love for it to be memorable, but it's been 2 years since I've queried him. So.
Yeah.
But I say that I remember by the queries. Like I remember, this query.
So I'm a little confused about you saying you're sending back. Has anything in the book changed since last time you sent it to them, or are you just tweaking the query letter at this point?
No, nothing's changed in the book. But the query, like this query is so much better. And 2 years, whatever it was, 2 years ago or last year when I did this with Patrick and you, it was much more difficult for me to even be willing to change my query and accept that you could make it better.
It's a process.
I had, when I was writing the original, I know it wasn't perfect. I had Patrick in my ear, like in my mind. So that's, he'll love hearing that.
Morgan, this is for
Yes.
you.
Aw. Is it a prepositional phrase?
It is not. It is the beginning of a query on Query Tracker.
Oh, okay. Slightly off topic. I wanted to jump to the bottom of your query letter in your bio section. Usually when I do lists, and I know Patrick isn't a fan of all my lists, but I try to put them in order of importance.
Okay, so maybe don't put karaoke first.
Either getting most important to least or vice versa, but this feels very out of order. So just pick an order.
Okay.
And then Aaron's going to tell us.
I don't know that we need the word also. I think it's just, I love karaoke and my therapist, my kid, and my own love story,
Those kind of are in the right order.
Okay.
I mean, if you go from least to most.
Yeah.
Because the fourth one, my own love story, is, that could include my child also.
Yeah.
That's what I'm validating, like justifying that that's okay.
Sure.
They're not going to reject you because of it.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Now, Amber is going to fill in the age range in the genre.
Okay.
An hour and a half later.
And where you have that? Where in the?
I highlighted it, lady.
I'm not. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing.
In that first paragraph.
He said lovingly.
Second line. At the very start of the second line.
Readers of all ages? Is that a thing that we say?
Are you
No.
joking?
No.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm joking.
I can walk you through it if you need the tutorial.
I would say 18 to 88.
No.
No.
Is it cheesy to say that?
What we're doing right now is we're saying it is an adult
book. Yeah.
Women's fiction book.
Yeah.
Like that's
like, so 21 to 50.
No, stop it. The word is adult.
Numbers.
Age is picture book, middle grade, YA, or adult.
Okay.
You don't put years. You put categories.
This is an adult book club fiction book.
Book club is not a genre. Try again.
Amber, do you need?
Okay, hold on.
Here we go.
Nope, I'm ready. Rubber Eraser Scars is a 72,000 word work of adult fiction, adult women's fiction. Did I get there?
Fiction. That's lit. Just fiction.
I feel fiction.
Literary fiction.
Morgan, can I ask you a question?
I wasn't going to do literary fiction. Sometimes it's called women's lit instead of women's
lit. Okay, I like that.
Is it okay?
I need to double check which is more official.
The book club thing on Query Tracker, on their drop down box, if you're searching for an agent, there's an option to click book club.
That makes sense.
So how is that not a thing?
It's not a genre though. You can pick it. You can pick it. Okay, on Reezy's list, there's BIPOC literature too. That's not a genre.
I don't know.
So you can, because some people want specifically book club fiction. They don't care what genre it is. They care the approach that you're using.
I think it just sounds like snooty, like book club fiction's like stuff that, people who would be having a glass of white wine and being fancy would read.
And guess
to
what?
me, book club means Oprah might choose it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. To do with the genre. It's the approach.
Okay. Yeah. So Morgan, you're saying that women's fiction is generally called women's lit is the more
No, I Googled it. It's fiction.
Okay.
Women's fiction.
Patrick was right.
I always said literary or book club were my two favorite genres that I wanted to
use. Women's fiction and book club are basically a circle.
Yeah. Just encompasses
what is the genre?
Book club might sound like I'm too proud of myself. What is the genre?
No, I'm saying women's fiction is a genre.
Yes.
In querying, not in publishing and querying. Because on the shelf, there is no women's fiction section. Okay? It'll go in contemporary, it'll go in thriller, whatever. But with querying, it is. Because querying is like that.
Okay.
However, book club, upmarket, literary, commercial, these are all classifications. You can have thriller, suspense, paranormal, fantasy, science fiction, contemporary, historical fiction, historical fantasy. I think that's the end of it.
So I would say I like when it says upmarket. I like that because it sounds good. But does that mean it's like commercial? I'm not very good at the genres. I'm even worse at
It
those. Than
says, it says classification. Let me load it. Let me find the thing, okay?
Hold on.
Oh, good.
I feel like I'm failing at school. I don't like it.
It is Jane Friedman who knows a whole lot about this stuff.
Yeah.
And I have learned that the best skill you can have is the skill to know when someone else knows what they're talking about. And you can just copy them. Jane Friedman says, what is upmarket fiction? Character-driven, accessible writing, appropriate for book club discussion.
Woohoo! Upmarket fiction is a winner.
And that is Jane Friedman hosting Carly Waters. If she's wrong, we're all fucked.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Because Carly Waters is a big name. All right.
So it's upmarket women's fiction.
There you go. Okay, then. Cool.
Yay. Is this the part where Morgan reads it out loud?
No!
I read it out loud once we're done. Are we done?
And no, we're gone. Are you kidding me? The brackets in this baby?
Yeah. We need a little more, but we have a structure. We have an order. We have like a not really a plot, but a through line. We can see the end.
Yay.
We have.
No, I'm having a great time. Thank you guys.
The only plot element that disappears is the way with words. And that's fixable. Oh. I can put in places, okay? And then stuff, all right? And what happens is you will fill in aspects of her degree mattering throughout the query. 3 uses should be fine, okay?
So the part, wait, hold on. What?
Sure.
Sorry, I was on the other screen, so I didn't see when you were first.
That's fine. Okay, so let me show you, all right?
Yes.
So I bracketed each of them. Okay, so we have the way with words up here in the first paragraph. See that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so that plot element disappears, which is bad. And particularly bad because it's an accomplishment that she has in the second line of the query. Okay? We cannot have it as okay.
So bring it back.
See where I highlighted the way with words there? Okay, I added that there. So somewhere in this thing, right, you'll have other places to put stuff about her accomplishment and degree and stuff like that.
Okay.
Whether
I thought maybe it was going to be obvious from like the words that were used in the query, since it's autofiction. Laurel is actually the author.
I have never seen that done in a query. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
The only time what I've seen done is how it reflects the query language reflects the classification. Okay.
Yeah.
For an upmarket thing, the query for there will I be buried, I think, is prettier than many others because it's written to be representative of the way the book is. Okay.
Yeah. So this
however, classification and plot point.
Mm-hmm.
See these two different fingers?
No, because I'm looking at
okay. Anyway, that's why I have my.
I totally I get what you're saying. So with autofiction, I would have the option of the author's name on the front of the book would be Laurel Lancaster, which I think is pretty cool.
Okay.
So that doesn't matter to the agent.
That has nothing to do with it. You could have your name be IP freely. It doesn't matter.
I mean, the same name as the main character could be the author.
It doesn't. It's not a concern at the query level. What you could do, if you wanted to, is this. Okay. Scroll down. The Morgan. There we go. I almost called you Charlotte. And
maybe she could write it. Maybe she can talk about how she's writing him letters. Whenever you had that middle paragraph.
Yeah.
Sure.
That would be showing her way with words.
Whatever. I would have more than I would. Morgan, you're gonna like this. You ready, Morgan?
Is it a prepositional phrase? Is it an adjective?
It's gonna be a modifier, Morgan. Writing him artful letters.
So. Had he received one of her letters shortly before the incident?
We have to make sure it doesn't change much with it. We change what we change.
She went to college to become a writer. She has her BA
Yeah.
in English.
Yeah.
She might even write her own book about this situation.
That has nothing to do with the query, though.
Oh, I'm just thinking of how we can add things in about her writing. Yeah, sorry.
The synopsis would show us that, but we would have to dive into the synopsis. You want to put that in?
Not today, Satan.
Okay. You want to put it in your first page so I can? Okay, whatever. I mean.
No, I'm kidding. I really appreciate it. I just don't think we have much time to dig much deeper.
I don't need. What I'm looking for in the synopsis is things she does with her degree.
Okay, so she doesn't.
Her job with writing?
She doesn't.
She doesn't do anything with her degree. She's just finished college. She's languishing. She's working in a restaurant.
Then you need to show her not. Then the thing to do there is to show her not using it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
And now she can't get a job using it.
That people paint glass. They paint what's in it or around it or what's shining off it, right?
You know, she does write a poetry, like she does write a poem in the book, though, at least one. So that could be her using it because the poem might have a line in it that's the title. What if that happened? Did that just blow your mind, Patrick? Did that just blow your mind?
I know. It's not a noun, but it was a noun. But
you hate my book. I know you do.
Amber, the thing is, I don't care whether it exists.
You don't have to care, Patrick.
And if you have a disconnected poem, okay, then is that connected, Amber?
It feels connected to me.
Or is it an emotional support plot point, Amber?
It feels connected to the book to me.
Wait, what about this?
That's what you're saying.
What about this? You know, she breezed through college, she got that shiny degree, and now all she uses it for is writing poetry
or taking orders at the restaurant. Yeah, taking orders at the restaurant, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think we got lost in the details. Like, I really love the idea of she's got away with words.
We just need specific things that happen.
Yep. Yeah. I like the idea. It's a really good point.
That's what I do. All right. Do you want us to see the synopsis so I can tell you real briefly what's wrong with it? Because I'm not going to mark it up, but we don't have.
Yeah, I didn't put it in the file, so just give me a
second. No, I know. Because I made the file. I made this thing. That is 2 spaces. And not a file. This goes slash there.
I'm old. I'm not fast on the intrawebs.
You also live in. Never mind.
It happens.
Don't you, Patrick? Talk about me living in Kentucky. Is that what that was?
Well, we live in a pretty technologically big area.
We do.
Whereas true. Kentucky
has its spots.
Yeah. Well, yes. I'm in Louisville. I mean, I'm in the best spot in Kentucky, I think. But I haven't looked at my writerly links for like a year. And I've been using my work laptop and I'm using my personal, which is so big.
Yeah.
It just feels
keyboard changes. Is the keyboard geography different?
Yes.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, anything like that you had to read because you're used to doing certain things in a certain way, and changing even half an inch changes everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the synopsis is there. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's a pain.
No, it's not.
I think it's there. Has it come over there?
No, it's not
showing up.
It's not.
Well, let me hit refresh and see what happens. Sometimes it takes a. Okay.
Oh, actually.
Did you use the wrong document?
Oh, is it a separate document?
It should say synopsis final.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, that's.
There might have been 2.
Did you? They should see. Okay, paste it into this document that we are using. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, like
we don't need to have 93 documents.
I hear you. Hang on.
The entire set, yes. We should develop rules more. We're going to try to do this stuff in the future.
Luckily, we're going to have a single email point so we don't have to share between multiple people.
Yeah.
And a single process for
we'll
people
both be
to send
logged
it to
into
us.
the same account. That won't be confusing at all.
You got to be nicer if people are paying you, Patrick.
I'm here to do as much softening as possible.
Amber is being silly again.
It is. I'm teasing him.
Yes.
All right. I'm so close. I have it loading. I'm copying.
It's okay.
I'm copying. I'm pasting.
We've got Patrick being a little.
I am gentler, but I know you, and I know that I can say basically anything, and you'll react. And however angry you get, you'll also be laughing.
I'll be funny. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
mad and
you'll be
funny.
angry but funny. It's like Fiona Apple, except not.
You
Disappeared.
bite your, words, and Catechus is over here gnawing on me with his, mouth. So
That is how gnawing happens, yes.
I'm getting it from my ears and on my hand. So at the same time.
All of those nouns, see that was.
Hey! Some of those were what are
Oh, here's another
onomatopoeias?
query that recently got representation. Morgan, look at what's different about this one. Hint nothing. Look at that.
I hope
Personalization.
this query
the
finds
top.
you well. Yep. Okay.
And then let's see this one. Oh, there's nothing there.
Are we supposed to be
Nothing there.
saying stuff like "I hope this finds you well"?
That's very old to me. You can. My thing is always, would a reasonable person reject you because you didn't? I don't think they would. I think my friend Amy, I cannot imagine her rejecting someone because they didn't say hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Which is what it is. So if you need that to me is sort of like.
Do you remember a couple of years ago when there was the agent who went on a rant about what time of day and week people were emailing their query letters that he wasn't going to respond to?
There is an agent who rejects if you don't send them during business hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which to me
means that he's a poor fit for me, and no other agent who heard about this tweet agreed with that. Because asynchronous communication is asynchronous.
2 points on that. Number one, there are 600 plus agents on reasons list. If you're competing based on being particular for no reason, you just lost business or gained business by existing.
Yeah.
Number two, agents aren't even reading them during business hours. So you're saying you must do this at this time, and I won't handle it for 6 hours later. So functionally, there's nothing there. I could understand if this agent had an incredibly weird schedule.
Yeah.
Where this was when they had to do queries, right? Like if they have a kid situation or they're taking care of an elderly parent whose whatever thing is super active between, let's say, noon and 5. I get that, okay? Because I have 3 mongrels back there, okay? This isn't that. This is being uselessly picky. And same thing with not querying agents who say no response is no. If you can't take 10 seconds, then I'm not going to take 3 hours. Sorry.
I'm okay with no responses no, as long, especially since 90% of them have the whole yes, we got your thing, so I know that it actually arrived. I just set a reminder on my calendar so I can close it out. And I gotta say, at least a third of the no answer means no thank you. I usually actually hear back within a month or two afterwards, which I consider reasonable. Up to double the amount of time they say it's going to take is reasonable, which is sad but true.
I believe you can set in Google Spreadsheets, which is where I would do my query tracking back when I used to do queries. Because doing short stories is much easier. Honestly, you're not sending 80 queries, but you can set it to where it changes the color of the cell after a certain date. I'm pretty sure you can do that.
Sure. Okay.
And that's the way that you can. I would still check it because I trust nobody about anything.
Yeah.
But that's people aren't like me.
Yeah.
Which is good because oh, that'd be very bad. Is Amber coming back?
There is some discussion.
Okay.
She thought she lost video, but instead she is no longer on StreamYard. So we're hoping she can reconnect, but we'll see.
Okay. In the meantime, can she get her synopsis to us?
We also don't have the synopsis, so
I was going to use that to look for plot things that she could use for that.
Sure.
Because if we lose the degree, we don't have her accomplish anything, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But it really loses. We have a balance right now, somewhat of a balance at least. We have a starting balance between her doing something well and her
Yeah.
being bad, and
Yeah.
that sets up a character with something there.
Yeah.
But if it's all bad, that's less interesting to me.
Sure.
It's more of a disaster person.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a market for that, but
Mhm.
it's just a different. It changes the
Whole dynamic.
presentation. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you lose that, then if you have it, you have stakes that can she can use the work ethic she had, but to be or whatever. There are ways you can do it. But okay, cool. She's back. Okay. So if people are not familiar with this, you start a career with really important stuff about the character. You have to continue them because otherwise, if they go away, how important are they if they're not there, right?
Yeah.
But also, it shows the agent that you can construct a narrative that builds on itself.
And
In the
doesn't
sa-
drop
yeah,
elements.
in the
Yeah.
same way that if you have she can't get on video. If you have a book that starts out with lots of rain because you're in fantasy and every fantasy is raining, and there's no mud flying anywhere, there are two reasons for that. Number one, you have special mud. Number two, you haven't thought through the process of the rain. And files and group page. Okay, that's all right. Group files. How is it even put it there? I don't see that. Okay, then cool. All right, I'm gonna see if I
Okay.
can get this thing to
Yep.
load.
Grabbing the synopsis now. Thank y'all
Okay,
for your
cool.
patience.
You're gonna do that. All right, good. Then I can. Okay, that's the paused. Whatever. All right, let's just. I'm not gonna do much to this tonight because most synopses need more than 5 minutes. Okay, that
Yes. Yes. Obviously.
is.
So.
Way.
Oh goodness. Okay.
What's
It's trying to
this?
do that.
Can,
Skip for now.
yeah, I got the.
Only.
You got it?
Okay. Yeah. Give me a second. I need to zoom in and.
I'm putting it. I've got it in.
Sure. Oh, I
Just
could do the
formatting.
copy paste thing. Right. Sorry. It opened in Google or in Word, and I don't have
Yeah,
Word, so I
yeah,
can
yeah.
do the
I've
view
got it
over
in.
view.
I've got it
Okay.
in. I've got it in.
Okay. So we're good. Oh,
Okay.
and she's back.
Hooray! All right. Let's see. This is.
I'm gonna do a
This is not
page
that
break
bad.
so we're all on one page.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then that. And
Yeah.
then. Okay. So 4 over is not terrible. 724 is pretty good. I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
That's okay. My usual thing is 16 over. I can fix like it's nothing. I'm just gonna do this manually.
I thought you weren't gonna edit it. You were just reading it. Here, let me read it aloud for our viewers who are listening from home who may not be watching. 23-year-old 23-year-old poet and writer Laura Lancaster is desperately trying to find her footing. After a manic episode and bipolar diagnosis, she's lost in a world of new medications and overwhelmed, trying to ease the confusion and concern of friends and family. The shock of her ex-boy I'm going to just mute you for a minute. The shock of her ex-boyfriend David's death, 22, classical musician, depressed, sends her tracing the threads of the relationship, her mental health, and religious and childhood trauma. Her struggle to heal it all from it all in told in interwoven timelines. Laurel had a conservative evangelical Christian upbringing, deep trauma from an abusive father, and her grandfather's betrayal of the family makes her question her religion, herself, and the futility of relationships. From the first blush of intense love in high school with Adam, 22, philosophical, to a whirlwind romance while working with David in college, Laurel has struggled to figure out what she wants out of life. Each time she thinks she's figured it out, another option comes along, tempting her to explore. She dabbles with other relationships and transfers colleges twice, trying to fit in with different groups. None of it feels right, and she ends up back home in Louisville. Craving familiarity, she returns to the movie theater and does substitute teaching, hoping that can lead to a career. A bitter teacher discourages her path, and the terrorist attacks on September 11th send her emotions spiraling when she is called to sub that day. She's begun to lie to David, but can't figure out why. He calls to warn her about an accident near the bridge on her normal route home. The next day, he opens up about his own attempt as a teenager to throw himself off that same bridge. Laurel has a panic attack and cancels her plans with him because she can't handle the painful story. Attempting to distance herself from David's pain, she begins an affair with her new boss at the theater. The guilt consumes her, and she decides to break up with David, ending things with him while he's at work. She thinks being single will bring her freedom, but as college graduation closes in, Laurel feels even more lost. Her risky behavior amps up after she takes a new job at a restaurant. Laurel continues smoking, starts drinking more heavily, and engages in one-night stands. She settles in with a new boyfriend, Owen, 26, stoner without a car, and in trying to find a career path, turns to writing. The creativity leads to insomnia, and she becomes less and less coherent. Owen and her parents bring her to what she thinks is a writing retreat, but what turns out to be a faith-based inpatient mental health facility. Over the course of her stay, she obsesses over her ex-lovers, is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and put on a series of medications she struggles to adjust to taking. Once released, she fears picking up the pen again will cause her to relapse. Laurel, determined to get her life back, goes into a bookstore where David works, looking for a self-help book. David sees her, but he turns away as if he's seen a ghost. He walks out of the building. It's the last time she sees him, just weeks before his death, at that same spot near the bridge of his teenaged suicide intention. Laurel doesn't attend the funeral, fearing he wouldn't have wanted her there and not wanting to face his parents or his friend Evan, who just showed up. She blames himself for his death, believing it to be a suicide caused in part by seeing her again. Months later, she visits his grave and bumps into his mother, who also believes her son died by suicide. They share memories briefly, and Laurel is relieved that David's mom doesn't believe his death was an accident. However, this is also a painful validation that Laurel could have contributed to his decision. As she begins to cope, Laurel joins a writing group and begins writing David's story, imagining him as a ghost who experiences the effects his death has had on those he loved. Finally, she has the faith in one thing: writing will help her heal. She is not in darkness. She is headed toward the light by writing this book. And we're back. Hey, Patrick, what did you say while you were muted?
Just we have plot elements that aren't introduced. They just sort of, oh, there's a thing, which is fixable. It's just irritating. Because what happens with the creating the synopsis, people don't realize what they aren't introducing until we get 3 paragraphs and they're like, oh yeah, she's a heavy smoker. And okay, you can introduce the first paragraph. Oh, she says you're backstage and you have to let her in.
I can't until she has a camera or microphone enabled. So.
Okay, I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah.
Can't do this yet. Who is Evan? Does Evan exist? No. Okay. Toss. One-use characters don't exist in synopses. You have to have it multiple times. If we were going to have Evan in here, if she needed him in here, that's tolerable. Hello?
Sorry for the delay.
I just deleted a person from your share synopsis.
What?
Evan was only
I deleted
mentioned
Evan
once
because
at
he was
the
a
funeral.
one-mentioned person. And one mention in synopsis is zero-mentioned person synopsis.
He was mentioned being at the funeral and you not wanting to face him. And that's the only time and no context.
Okay.
So he's gone.
Yeah,
Adam also
I caught that when you were
again.
reading. I caught that when you were reading Evan. I was like, I don't even know why I put his name there.
And
Adam is definitely more important to the story, but it doesn't mean that we necessarily need his name in there if you don't think it should go.
I don't think so. I think we just need from the
an
first
older
one.
man, a college, whatever thing.
Oh,
Adam's
true.
The age gap to me is the interesting thing.
Yeah, that's what made me blink and read it twice.
And I would focus on that and not even have the name, because if we use a name, we communicate importance, right? You are communicating lack of importance because he doesn't appear again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it says written. I can figure this eventually, but right now it's not happening.
Did you guys like the overall vibe of the synopsis?
I'm not reading for vibes.
I think the vibe was reasonable, but it definitely had things that could be trimmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay. A thing people with a degree in writing do is substitute teach.
I substitute taught while I was in college.
I did not. I have never done that because my energy level, I would die.
My mom worked at a high school and they were desperate for substitutes, especially the last 2 months of school.
Oh yeah.
Because after the SOLs, the teachers start using their vacation days.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could do limited things, but I just I get so energized, and the trauma of things, it's a lot. I just can't. I literally just.
I was taking attendance and making sure they didn't walk out of the room. There was very little teaching happening at that point.
Yeah, that would be. I could teach, but there's stuff. Anyway, it would. I discovered it'd be a bad idea. Anyway,
hi Maya.
Hello, human. I think, right?
All right, sorry guys.
All right, so Amber, is the substitute teaching a thing we can use to show the thread of her writing degree?
The substitute teaching. I don't know if currently in the novel currently in the way it's written we can't, but maybe I can play with it.
Don't change the book to match the query.
Okay.
Change the query. Change the query needs to match the book. All right. So, what else can we use for the writing stuff? I'm trying to help you find things.
Well, I was telling you earlier that it kind of flashes back and forth in time. So maybe something from a different time in her life.
Is this written non-linear?
Yes.
Mention that in the
synopsis
metadata.
Is not. Yeah.
No, the synopsis need to be linear, but or at least needs to be labeled.
Yeah.
But the query, you need to mention that in metadata because otherwise you get real confused.
Yeah. Okay, so when I say how many words and stuff?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah.
Is a 70,000 blah 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 told in non-linear fashion. I think is at least placeholder for tolerable.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen one query for that, and one is not a data point, one is an anecdote. So I think as long as the thing is about the metadata, it tells the agent what's going on. All right, it's clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not pulling any punches.
And as long as you're telling them exactly what's happening, that's what they're asking for.
Yeah.
And that most of them are not going to say no based on that unless it's silly they don't want to represent, right?
Yeah,
I hate nonlinear books so hard.
The nonlinear books that I find really resonate and work for me personally are the ones in which the two timelines parallel each other with what they're learning. Either one's the descent and one's the ascent, or they both follow similar paths and that are echoed in different ways.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You go right ahead and like them.
Morgan, I know you said you have to work in the morning. I feel bad for keeping you so late. You guys, I mean, it's been so helpful. I mean, I don't want to keep you all. It's already.
Do we, now that we've read through the synopsis, do we think we can finish the query in the next 15, or should I peace out?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not one bit.
Okay.
No, it's at least another hour because we have to find things, and I don't see things. And what you were suggesting,
but Patrick, I've actually got to run as well. I didn't think about us go. I would love to stay and do this now, but I may have to.
No, we'll do something else later.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Oh, and I'm supposed to tell people to check out my coffee account at ko-fi.com/Morgan Hazelwood.
Put a link in there so they can link.
Yeah.
So they can
I did earlier, and I will do it again.
Yes, because they can't click on your words.
Right? It's true. It's true. So let me. And we've been doing this for a while. We think Patrick is great at it, and I help translate.
I'm the one that's the other. This one, it's reverse of whatever. It's fine. All right, have fun.
Yeah,
guys. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for sharing with us. It's super brave to do this live on stream.
Yeah, I didn't think about that when I said
excited.
Bye. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, Patrick.
So, any final words for our
we're
audience?
Still.
We can peace out too.
So that was okay. So what you saw there was a query that lacks core parts, structurally and mechanically. Fixing the structure comes first. You should see my queries. Holy because everyone is terrible at this. You have all these words in here, and they all want to come out. Every single detail wants to come out. You can't do it that way, and that's why you need somebody
fresh eyes
who doesn't have any idea about you. The less they know, the better.
Yeah,
I've had people withhold details. Didn't need to know. I don't need the ghost subplot. Nope. No, we are good because we don't know this stuff. And so if we don't see it, we'll go, what's this mean? Oh, that whole thing. I didn't explain that right. There's a stuff, right? I'll help you with it.
Yeah. So thank you all for coming. I hope this was moderately helpful for some of you. And have a great day, evening, sleep well, and back to work for me tomorrow. So bye.